All right, everyone. Welcome back to Adobe Live. How is everybody doing today? I'm so excited that y'all stuck around after that wonderful stream by Kyle T. Webster. And for those of you who are just joining in for the stream specifically, thank you all for either coming back for day 2 or just for jumping in to chill with us today. My name is VooDoo Val, and I'm going to be host and co-artist for episode 2 of the Design Off with Sozomaika. Sozo, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm alive. So
Yes, there we go. Yeah, that's, you know what? That was like one of the requirements for the broadcast. You check that box, so we're golden. So welcome in again, everybody. I'm super pumped for kind of just like jumping in and working on the work that we did from yesterday. Before we kind of jump into what this segment is about, for those of you who've never been here for a Design Off, and before we kind of recap the work that Sozo and I worked on yesterday. Sozo, why don't you do like another kind of brief introduction for anyone who is in the chat today who might not be familiar with you and your work? Like, who are you? What kind of art do you like to create?
how do I summarize that?
Hi, I am Zozo. I draw the things. Good day.
That
Good
yeah, what she said.
day.
Hmm.
No, I think you and I kind of do like a lot of the same stuff. Like we're pretty creepy and spooky with our work. I think we both like to do a lot of portraits, a lot of bright, vibrant colors, a little darkness, kind of stuff. I think is a pretty good representation. What do you think?
I'm definitely one for like femme fatale,
Mm.
sexy vampires, but also like shoes that look like you could kill someone with them,
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like that.
definitely.
Yeah.
Shoot, like weaponized shoes that look deadly. I think that's excellent. And also like you got the like fleeky makeup is like definitely a thing for your
Yes.
characters. You do a really good job. I
Not a thing
also
for me today.
no, yeah. It's all right. It's all good. I also I don't do a lot of fleeky makeup on my characters, but I would like to. That's one of the things that I'm hoping I'm hoping that kind of rubs off on me for the stream, so I can go out into the world after these bright. Thank you. We are. Ooh, let me turn. There we go. We got it. But we're going to jump back into to what we've been working on. But first, I want to call attention to the fact that we are creating like some super cool kind of fantasy-esque dark portraits today. And we have invited you yesterday, all of you folks in chat, to create some art with us. And today we are going to be pulling up Twitter towards the end of the stream and checking out the hashtag Adobe Live Design Off on Twitter and looking at your work. We're going to give you guys a spotlight and just like kind of shout you out and show your work off and let everybody know where they can follow all you folks. You do not have to have like a perfectly finished 100% magnificent painting completed in order to be showcased. Even if you're just like doing a sketch like you just showed in today and you're like, I'll do something for the stream, please feel free to do that. And even if you weren't able to participate in our theme for today, you can still kind of show off what you were working on while you were watching the stream. So definitely use the hashtag and share with us. But I'm going to pop over to our dual stream here so that you can check out what we worked on. So we can see, everybody can see your work now, Sozo, and I'm in awe. I like these eyes that you have painted. I'm like going a little bit nuts, to be perfectly honest with you. Like I don't know how you did them, but they're very, very good. So I just wanted you to know that. Like I saw them when you jumped into the call beforehand, and I was like, ooh, my heart. Ooh.
Thank you.
Ooh, man. And I put some detail on the waves of my Lady Death hairdo here, and kind of like cleaned up the anatomy a little bit. I'm gonna be jumping into color for the first time today, because I didn't get into color yesterday. What do you think you're gonna be kind of chipping away at today, Sozo?
Probably her accessories, hair, her horns.
Nice.
Speaking of hair, I'm really enjoying how you did those waves there.
Thanks. Try to
It's
make them like shiny. I feel like Lady Death's like her bangs are always like gravity defying. So I had
definitely like
to.
Pantene type situation going on
This
here.
is like
Yes.
Garnier Fructis. Like you don't like this is Tresemme. Like we are here for hair today. I think we both have some pretty wicked hairstyles going on with our characters. So I'm just gonna dive into it. I'm just gonna start kind of like blocking in some color and see where I get. I want to know in chat, those of you who are chilling with us today, I want to know what you folks are working on. What do you have planned to share with us today? I want to know what you guys are working on, portrait wise, and if you did not create a portrait, I want to know just kind of what you're working on in general. Um, so that I kind of know what to expect. I'm very excited to see what we're going to be getting from the community today. Um,
Lady Death bundles.
yes. What's up, Paloma? It's good to see you. Also, we got Robzilla in the chat. Robzilla is amazing. Robzilla says, "Ooh la la, indeed." Val's piece would fit right into the Castlevania universe. Stop! I'm gonna cry. I I love Castlevania. Melancholy Megan McGirl is in the chat. It's good to see you. And I also see Ariana. Welcome back. We got Sam Peterson moderating, holding down the fort today. I really appreciate you being here, man. It's good to see you. Um, I'm gonna do what you said yesterday, Sozo, and I think I'm gonna play with gradient maps before I start like slapping color on with blending modes and stuff. I'm gonna jump in and see what I can create gradient map wise. So for those of you who've never used gradient maps before, I think if you go image adjustments and then just hit gradient maps, you can come in here and I can kind of double click and go into like the presets and kind of see what we have going and see if I can throw some cool colors on there. Um,
I definitely recommend you layer your gradient maps. Like there's this brown one in there. That one's actually my favorite one to start with.
oh, okay.
It it's the brown gradient with
Let
the
me see.
beige.
Brown with beige.
It's up there. It's up there. It's
Oh, it's
actually
up at
one
the
of the
top.
yeah, it's one of the default ones that come with the program.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Let me see. Brown and beige. I'm looking. I see like a crazy one, but I don't
Here,
know.
I'll show you on my screen which
Yeah, yeah,
one.
yeah. Let me see. Let me see what
So
you got.
when you put it on, it looks crazy, but when you drop it, it actually looks it. When I
Oh, it
paint
is
in
that
black
one.
and white,
Okay.
yeah, this one right here. But you turn down the opacity, like so, and you see how it softens everything.
Yeah. Let me. I'm gonna turn the opacity down on everything. Oh, that does look good.
Yeah, so
Hey.
it smooths out all the values and like gives you more midtones to work with, and it also is like a really great. I think it has like a nice sepia like quality to it. So
Yeah.
your colors underneath don't appear dead and gray and washed out. That's the tricky thing with like painting in black and white. So that's one of the ways that I counteract that when I'm
Oh
painting.
man, I learned something new today, guys. That's awesome. I'll probably do that all the time, like as a first color layer. I'm also going to I have like a preset that I like to use. I have a project that I'm working on that I haven't finished, even though I said that I would, but I will eventually finish. It's called Dungeon Mysterium, and I started writing like a short horror fiction in October, and then I've been releasing like mini chapters with a painting that goes with them because I'm trying to revive picture books. Like I think that grown up should also have like grown up stories, and then we should get pictures too, not just kids. Because I love that. Like Brahm, if you guys are familiar with the artist Brahm, Brahm does that because he writes books and then he like illustrates his characters and illustrates the scenes and just puts them right in the novel. And I think that's so cool. Um, But I kind of developed like my own gradient map for all of the Dungeon Mysterium paintings, and I'm gonna see if that looks good as like a second one here because I think I want to go with like some creepy like greens and blues since I think Lady Death has like a super like she's like she look I mean she's Lady Death, like she's like pale and like deathly creepy, you know. So I think I should go with some like scary blue and like creepy green would probably be pretty good.
Something something else you can do with that brown one is you can put it underneath the colored ones, but you
Hmm.
can also change the blending mode of it to get different dramatic effects.
Ooh, okay.
So that's those iridescent things you were talking about yesterday, that's one of the ways you can get that look.
Okay. Yeah, let me try that. Honestly, it looks pretty good on a darken, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. And you
Let me
can also
see.
throw in like a brightness contrast over top your values layer just to kind of like push things around without having to commit to making major changes yet.
Okay.
Because the gradient maps always react differently based on those factors. So it's like a non-destructive way of working.
Yeah, I like this. This is cool. Ooh, that actually looks good. That's a hard light. That looks pretty neat. Oh, I see. Okay, you know, now that you've said that, you know, like kind of talking about all the colors and stuff that you tend to get. Now that I'm flipping through and I'm kind of doing this, I'm starting to see like that that kind of color interaction that I really favor in your work. Oh
Hmm.
man, I figured out the magic, guys. I have the power now. The magic belongs to me. I'm gonna do this all the time. Flynn Tracy says, Val, do you often write backstories for characters you illustrate? Yeah, I do. I do. When I'm not doing fan art, a lot of the characters that I create, I either already wrote a story that they're a part of and I'm like illustrating them, or I create a painting and then I'm just like uh I have to like put this person in a story like let me see. I did a painting recently that I liked so much. I just like invented a story. And his name is Riven Toll, and he is the king of the Midnight Court. And he's just like basically what that means is he's just like a terrifying elf man. Let me see if I can find that. I think I did I post that on Instagram? I think I posted it to Instagram. But it's like one of the paintings I did this year that I was like that I enjoyed the most. So this would be like yeah, this is a good example. I did this guy, and I started painting him, and I kind of had like a story going, already, and then I liked doing this portrait so much. I was like, I don't want to leave it here and just like, here's a cool person I drew. Like, I wanted it to be more than that. So I was like, I'm going to give him a name, and I'm going to make him a character because I like him. And I don't want to get rid of him just yet. So yeah, I do that a lot. I don't know if my writing's any good, but I I like to pretend at least like I make up cool things. Does anybody else in chat write stories? Do you write stories, Sozo? Are you like a story kind of person?
Um,
Because I know
yeah,
you have some
actually,
OCs.
I have several. I just don't put it out there because I've seen people's stuff get swiped and your girl's paranoid
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
a little. I do tease a little. I have teased some of my stuff, but I don't put
Nice.
everything out.
Do you are you like are you wanting to write like a book with your characters and stuff, or maybe like a graphic novel or something? Is that something you're interested in, or are you just like putting like kind of doing little blurbs?
I want to do a comic actually. So if you go on my story, you might see this succubus character, and she's actually the thing I've been writing for.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah, I see the painting of her a lot, and I'm in love. I think she's
Yeah,
just very
she's
cool.
my profile picture on Twitter actually.
Yeah,
I here, let me pull her up.
yeah. Let's see her.
This is like showing, like parents that show pictures of their kids to people for some
Yeah, like
reason.
look at my girl. That's exactly how I am. Whenever I post a new OC, I'm like, hey everyone, I know I do this all the time, but look at my new baby. Yes, I love her. What's her name again?
Trin,
Yeah. Oh,
short for
gorgeous.
Trinity.
She's gorgeous. Um, yeah, I
Thank
think
you.
it's super cool. I love designing OCs and writing stories and like I kind of always have. I was like interested in writing stories and like I used to write plays like when I was a kid, like before I started um, painting and getting into like visual art. I used to write scripts and stuff and like force my siblings to act them out. And I think I have like an old home video um, that I like my uncles and cousins came to town one summer and I like forced everyone to act out this play that I wrote when I was 9 and we have it like on video recording. It's terrible. And it's called Revenge of the Ninja. It's like me and my brother, like our father fell ill and we suspect foul play, so we like train ourselves to be ninjas and like exact revenge. And that's like was like the play, and I showed it to my grandparents and they were like horrified. um but I've been out here writing stories, y'all. Like I said, I don't know if any of them are good, but I've been doing it for for a long time. um Sam says, question for both Sozo and Val. What inspires you to tell a story? Does it stem from a character idea, a situation, or something else? That's a good question. What do you think, Sozo? Where does it come from for
Hmm.
you?
I'd say it's like mm, maybe sometimes life experiences.
Hmm.
Like I would say there have been topics in my writing that I wanted to explore, but I didn't know enough about being an adult or living life or anything to really write properly about it. So as I got older, I found more and more things to put in there. Um,
Yeah.
and I also had characters that I had designed, and I thought of this idea like, oh, what if I had this female bounty hunter, but she also works in a maid cafe? Like,
Yes.
that's actually an older story where at one point, if you went on my Twitch, you would see the character designs on there.
Oh, that's so awesome. I'm into it. I
That
like it.
I like silly situations also. So
Yeah, I
I feel like a
like
lot of stupid stuff would happen in that scenario.
I like that idea because I like to write like horror and stuff, but I have like a set of characters and like a storyline where it's like comedy horror almost because that's like I like to take super serious situations and then also make them hilarious. So I feel that that's cool.
Hmm.
I also kind of feel the same way you do in that I think a lot of my writing is also like working through um, things in my own life or like that comes from like my own personal experience, and then I just kind of like express that through writing a lot. I think I think also um, I sometimes like I'm listening to music and I don't know if you guys do this, but anytime I'm listening to music, I'm like imagining stuff like a movie in my head, like constantly. Like anytime, especially if I find like a new groove that's just like awesome. Like I'm constantly like imagining movie scenarios and like cool stuff happening to whatever song I'm listening to. And so sometimes I just, every time I hear that song, my mind goes back to um, that scenario that I was like imagining until I like it so much that I can't let it go. And then it will eventually be like a story, if that makes sense. So I like to do that. And I had a weird childhood, so I just like to like kind of put, I guess, like things that you know, because I feel like we all have had like interesting experiences throughout our lives, and it's just like sometimes like you experience things that you don't necessarily know like how to deal with, or you don't really know how to talk to people about. So I like to put my characters in situations that either I have been in, or like dramatic magical versions of situations that are similar, and then write how they work through those situations to help myself work through my own stuff. You know, because if I don't think about me as me, then sometimes the answers come to me. So I like to do that, and just like it keeps me um, comfortable and sane and like honest with myself. I think um, maybe that's weird, but that's how I feel about it. RB, welcome in. It's good to see you. Uh, Julia says, thank you. I have the same thing happening to me, and I thought I was the only one. Well, welcome in. Mercurial, I've published 2 books, but drawing the characters is way beyond my skill level, unfortunately. What books have you published? We have an author in the chat? What? Explain. I'm thrilled. Are you laughing at me, Sozo? I
But
think you're laughing.
no,
Oh, yeah, okay.
no. What are you talking about?
That's the most sarcastic voice I've heard from you yet. So
Well, that's an achievement because I have a pretty dry ass voice.
It's all good. It's all good. I think I'm gonna add like some silver tones into her hair right now because I noticed that like I really like her skin tone, but I think that it's like the same tone as her hair, and I don't think that that is Gucci. So I don't know if people use the word Gucci as like an adjective, but I do, and I hope that's okay. Also, welcome in, Dama-chan. It's good to see you again. Venus says, hello, your girls are looking so lovely. Well, thank you. No, I'm kidding, Venus. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming in today. Jessica Tam says, her mask hides her laughing. Yeah, she's chuckling maniacally over there, and we don't even know it. I can only see it in your eyes, basically. She's doing it right now. I can feel it in the force. That's how this works. I think, let's see, I'm gonna go for like maybe like a off yellow color. Even though I think her hair is like platinum, but I think that I'm trying to like kind of contrast against this hair. So I think that maybe this'll work. Let's see. We'll see about it. Let's see. I wonder if Mercurial told us about the books they write, because I'm very interested in that. I'm also gonna kind of go through chat here, make sure I didn't miss any other questions. Let's see. Doing the gradient as gradient map layer mode is non-destructive, and you can play with it easier. Yes, Siege, I agree. I've kind of like I'm trying to perfect more and more all the time, like how non-destructive I can work. Because I spent a lot of time like just erasing things or painting on the wrong layers by accident and just saying, you know, I made the mistake. I don't feel like going back and cleaning things up, so I won't. And then what I ended up doing is I'll make a decision and I'll go along with that decision, and then I'll realize, like, after 3 hours of working that I don't really like the decision I made in my painting, and I have no way of going back, and it's really, really frustrating. And then I try to, like, go back to a previous version, or, you know, I try to paint over and get back to where I was, and it never works. It always comes back to bite me, and so anytime I can find some way to work non-destructively, I can, and you should too, because it's just a better way to design and create. It's so much easier to do, and it feels better in the long run. Especially when you're working on client work, please work non-destructively. When you're working on client work, please do it, because it's just so much better for your health. It's just so much better.
Oh, no kidding about your health, man. Ugh,
The stress, uh,
exactly.
and like the just like the ache you put yourself through when you work destructively on client work, and then you have a client change their mind about something, and it's not even really a major change, but you didn't think ahead, or you didn't care because you didn't think it would be that hard, and then you get to the point where you do have to go back and change layer 427, but you're on layer 722. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to cry a little bit. You're going to wish you used smart objects. Spencer Nugent's in the chat. It's good to see you, Spencer. Spencer says, I'm terribly disorganized, and so I play the layer on-off game when it comes to working non-destructively. Yeah, you know, sometimes I do that too, where I have a layer, and I'll toggle it around, um, as I'm working, because I'm not quite sure if I wanted to do that thing at all. And so I'll just be like, will I? Won't I? I don't know. And then I'll just leave it separate from everything else.
Oh, by the way, I just wanted to point out, like, as you're stacking your gradient maps, you're probably gonna want to like organize them in a folder because you can get a lot of really cool effects, but man, that'll take up a lot of space in your layer management.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna actually start naming some of these. I'm gonna call this one hair color, so I remember what that is. I'm gonna call this one skin color, and then I'll start blocking it into. I do actually. So my initial layer. Typically, what I do is I group. You can see I have a group that has all of my layers in it. Like, this is my entire painting, kind of in here, and I do a really poor job of like naming my layers, as you can see. But what I do when I go to like start adding color to it is I'll group that in its own group, and I can actually rename this to painting. So I just know, like, this is the base, layers for all of my stuff. And then I'll duplicate that group and I will convert to a smart object. So now you can see I have this flattened version of my work over here. And I've applied gradient maps to that smart object. So then they're just listed right here under the smart filters. And I can hide the smart filters if I want, just to just cut them off and look at my original file the way I had it. And I can come back in here and I can double click each smart filter and like re-edit them if I want to, and that kind of keeps everything like really organized. And then I'm going to take your advice, and as I start adding like just layers on their own, just like with blending modes and gradient maps, I'm going to throw them into this group called color layers. Boom. And then maybe I'll know what the heck I'm doing if I
It's
return to this
also
file.
pretty helpful to have them grouped like that because sometimes I'm doing like a quick sketch in grayscale and I'm like, you know what? I have this other painting that has some gradient maps I really like. So I just go open that file and then I can drag and drop the folder already set up into my new file.
Oh, that is brilliant. That's a good idea. So you can basically like it's like multifunctional for different projects too at the same time. I also make a habit of anytime I do something, like I create a gradient I really like, I save my own gradient presets constantly. Um, so I have, like, when I opened up the gradients earlier, you might have saw, like, I had, like, the one for Dungeon Mysterium. Like I said, I had one for, like, some other, like, design projects that I've done in the past. And if I really like one, I will create it. And then when I come back, like, for another project like this, I know I have some color combos that I really like, and I can just, like, go for that. Um, so I recommend doing that too. Let's see. Simone says she always saves extra copies. I used to do that. Um, I used to do that. I used to have like 8 different, versions of all of my files, and ended up taking up so much space that it just drove me insane. Now what I do is I just like convert different stages of my painting to smart objects that I can unpack later. Because like right here with this one, even though I've like added smart filters to this, if I right click it, I can also say convert to layers. I'm not going to do that because when I convert it to layers, any smart filters that were applied to it are going to be null and void. But I could unpack that smart object back into just a group of all of the individual layers from before, which is helpful. So I just, when I get to a point that I like and I want to have an iteration of it, I make a new smart object and then I have it all in one file, instead of having like 12 to like 20 iterations of the same file and then trying to remember which is the one that I wanted to use. I'm debating whether or not to use a mask or not. I've been using a lot of masks lately.
I'm
In
gonna
my
avoid
work.
the pun here. I just
I was wondering if you were gonna catch it or if someone in chat was gonna catch it. Let's
oh,
see.
I caught you all right. I just
Let's see. Ooh. Ooh. You ever like do something by accident and you're like, that looks cool.
literally my entire process of painting in black and white is that, to be honest.
Yeah. That's I'm just like waiting for it. That's like what we were talking about yesterday, where like you paint something and you're like, boy, I sure do hope this turns out good. That's what I'm waiting for, is that moment where I'm like, oh, finally the accident has happened and I like it now. I like this. I'm gonna edit this with blending modes though. I'm gonna like see if I can make it a little more blue. Crank up the lightness. That looks sick. All right. And then now I'm gonna come in. I take like a soft brush, like a soft round. And after I have like stuff set in the painting, and then I'll just like very lightly go around with like some other tones and start adding some tones in certain places, like where there would be blood under the skin and things like that. I don't know if Lady Death has red blood, to be honest. I don't know if she's, because she's not human like that. But I'm gonna take some creative liberties and I'm gonna start just doing what I want because I'm the master of this realm. Let's see. Let's kind of put a blush on the nose and the lips and the eyes and the cheeks. I think generally, I think I've shown this before, but generally when it comes to like tones in the face, this may change depending on what kind of character you're drawing, but typically like from the forehead to like the eyes is like more yellowy tones. From the eyes like down into the nose is like warmer red tones. And then from like the nose and mouth area down to the chin typically is like grayish blue tones. And this can vary depending on, like, for example, whether your character has facial hair or not. If you have a character that's like clean shaven, you may still, depending on how your character is, you may still have aspects of uh, that character having like hair underneath the skin, like dark hair under the skin, and so like the skin tone there can sometimes be like more of like an ash gray, or like have blue tones in it. The red tones, especially in the center of the face, come from, like I said earlier, any place where blood is going to be super close to the skin, which is going to be like around the eyes, around the nose, around the mouth, sometimes like high in the cheeks, and then your forehead area, typically it's like thin flesh and like skin over bone. And so unless you're doing a character that has like different color bones, or maybe they're like an alien kind of character and or an undead character in my case, where maybe their skin is not like a regular like kind of human skin tone, you're gonna get more yellow tones because the bone is so close to the skin. And thank you. Sam Peterson just posted James Gurney did like an article about color zones of the face, so that's really, really cool. Jessica Tam says, how long did it take for each of you to get to where you are in your illustration? How long does it typically take to get to the finished product?
Mm,
Or are you talking, Jessica, about like where it took to get to like the illustration level in our career in general, or like with our specific paintings? And maybe you and I could just answer both, Sozo, just in general, because it's probably, if that's not what she means, I'm sure there's people who would be interested to know in the chat. So, like, about how long does it usually take you to finish a painting, and about how long have you been painting in general? Because I think for me it really varies. Sometimes like I had a sketch done already when I started yesterday, but I did start this painting yesterday and I put a few hours into it between yesterday's stream and today's stream, just because I wanted to dive directly into color today. So I would say this is maybe 5 hours of work. Um, and then like painting in general, I've been painting for uh, like trying to avidly get better at painting. I've probably been painting for about 15 years, and I've been doing it professionally for maybe 7 years. What about you, Sozo?
I think I spent about 4 hours on this total, if you include like starting it and then chipping away at it off camera.
Mm-hmm.
About 4 hours.
Nice.
And I guess technically I've been working professionally for about 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
six, something around that. And I've been drawing since I was a child. But painting, I started painting in, I want to say 2014,
Oh, okay.
but I was more so into drawing before that. That was like my background.
Yeah, I think like I'm kind of in the same boat. Like I've painted or I've been drawing like most of my life, but as far as like actually painting and like trying to take like the digital art thing seriously, probably around the same time as you, because I was doing like a lot of ceramics and a lot of traditional kind of art stuff before then. Um, but when I started like getting more comfortable with digital art, that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna see if I can do this. Let's see how this
Uh,
goes.
I wasn't allowed to do that stuff because we uh we lived in an apartment and my mom didn't want me to mess up the carpets.
Oh no, I was lucky enough I could do it at school at the time, but I didn't take up ceramics until like I did like a semester or two of college before I was like, adios, I'm gonna try to be an artist. But during that time I did a lot of ceramics, but I never did have the pleasure of like being able to have like a home set up for that. I would have loved that. That would have been awesome because I love ceramics so much. I just haven't been able to do it in years.
Mm.
I'm painting directly in color now, by the way. For anyone who is wondering, I'm no longer on um, a blending mode. I actually have like a soft round brush, and I am kind of going in and like blending the colors and things together now that I kind of have an idea of how I'm painting her. I don't think that she's as pale as typical Lady Death paintings portray her, but like I said earlier, um, I'm the master of this realm, so my Lady Death is going to be kind of blue. She kind of looks like Corpse Bride a little bit. But
So my
it's
partner
cool.
actually recently was commissioned by the I don't remember what company it is, but the people who do Lady Death.
No.
And yeah, and when he was painting, they made him turn her gray.
Oh,
They're like,
really?
she has to be gray. And I was like, yeah, but she looks better with like a little bit of tint, you know?
Yeah, like blue, like kind of.
Yeah, if there's a light source that's blue in there, then it makes sense for her to have some level of that reflect on her skin.
Well, there could be, but you never know because, like we talked about yesterday, all my characters are in a strange purgatory with no scene around them. So we don't know where they are. We have no idea.
As long as there's lighting, it doesn't matter. Purgatory can have lighting.
Yeah,
And it could be like a nightclub in purgatory
it
somewhere.
could be. It really could.
Hmm.
That's my kind of purgatory. If I have to be sent to purgatory, please let it be a nightclubbing purgatory because that sounds pretty awesome.
With an open tab.
Yeah. Yes. If that's where I must go, send me there. Let it be that. What are you doing? Says Lil Blues, or Lee Blues. I hope I didn't butcher your name. Welcome in. We are painting fantasy portraits. Well, fantasy portraits is kind of like a loose um. No, I
I
guess
was
they're.
thinking like dragons and stuff though. Whenever
Yeah,
someone says that,
yeah, you're right. That's kind of how I feel too. So I guess we're just painting. We're painting cool portraits. I would say we're just doing like kind of letting our
stuff.
imaginations, yeah, stuff and things. So isn't that what you said yesterday? Hi, I draw,
Yes.
I draw the things and the stuff. Um, we are, yeah, we're creating some portraits today. We're working on the portraits that we started yesterday. And this is also like kind of an open thing for everyone to be working on because coming up here in, oh gosh, just a few minutes actually, I'm going to be pulling up Twitter. I can't believe it. Um, so if you folks would like to be involved, please like do a sketch or something and share it with us because I'm gonna pull up Twitter. And if you use the hashtag Adobe Live Design Off, I'm going to give you a shout out and show your work off on the stream and say thank you and let everybody in the chat know where they can follow you and all that good stuff. Again, you do not have to post like a perfect finished work in order to get a spotlight or for us to kind of showcase you and highlight you today. And don't be embarrassed if you don't have like a perfect finished work to put on display. Just tweet at us what you've been working on. I just want to see what you guys have been doing while watching the stream. I'm just curious to see what kind of work you guys do. Does not have to be finished. But let us see it now. If you're looking to be a part of the spotlight, now is the best time to start posting it because I am going to pull Twitter up very shortly. So please do that. Starting coloring a piece now. Let's see if I can make it. Yeah. Just even if it's just like you could post the sketch now if you want, and then you could post the finished version later, even if the stream is over by the time you get around to that, because I always scroll through to see if somebody posted work in the meantime. So like the next design off episode, if you didn't make it by the buzzer for the spotlight that we do today, I'll show it next time. I will. I'll pull it up and be like, and here is Dark Horse or Dark Hours Co. Work from previous stream and give you a shout out then. But let us see it. Let us see your beginning point at least, because I'm eager to see what you guys have been doing. Let me I am kind of like graying her up just a little bit because she is awful saturated right now. But let's see.
Wait, Val, do you
Yes.
have that space that you're coloring affected by another layer already?
I do, yeah. Like
You
sort
could
of.
duplicate it and then change the blending mode and then just do hue saturation on it.
Oh, you're right. The thing is though, I don't know if that layer that I have affected already was actually like selected in the proper shape, because I'm only affecting just where her skin is visible right now. And so the other one, I think it might be the whole body though.
Mm,
So I just kind of made a new selection.
good
But
stuff.
now that I have, oh, that looks good. Now that I have this one with just the skin selected, I'll definitely do that for
Are
the next one.
you gonna set it to color mode?
Actually, I just threw it on an overlay layer, to be honest.
I'm curious.
I could though. I
That
could.
hair's looking good though. I like it.
It's got kind of like bluish tones in it, which I'm happy about, because before I wasn't sure if I could make it look like kind of platinum hair, but I think I did it.
You do
Um,
like some pretty good. I think your style would work well for some Laura Olympus art.
Ooh, that would be cool. That'd be sick.
Yeah,
What time is it? All right, we got about 10 minutes left of the show. I'm gonna go ahead and like pop over to Twitter. But if you want to keep chipping away at stuff and just peek over at the stuff, Sozo, that's totally cool. Unless you want to pull up Twitter as well, it's really up to you. Let me grab this. I'm gonna peek real quick at the hashtag just to make sure that everything is appropriate. Because it's the internet, and
oh,
that's,
cool.
you gotta check things out. It looks like we do actually have a submission from Sukosma. I Let me see. I'm gonna pop over to our single cam here. Now we got kind of a close up actually on your work while I'm situating this. Does anybody want to throw in their sketches? Ooh, we got another one. We got another one from Acid Fiend. This is amazing. I'm super excited about this. Uh, Also, make sure that if you're posting your work, that you're not just tagging me or Sozo. You have to use the hashtag Adobe Live Design Off. Um, to be seen, because I'm only checking that hashtag. I am not diving into the terror that is my personal notifications on the broadcast. That's not happening.
So there's a question for us in the comments. It says,
Oh, go for it.
"What are both of your design processes like? Do you do a rough draft or gather references for what you like to draw?"
Um, I have like probably 100 different like Pinterest boards that are themed. And depending on what I'm working on, because I typically get hired for the same kind of work, because I feel like my portfolio kind of speaks for what I like to do, and depending on like what personal project I'm looking at, I pull up like a handful of Pinterest boards that kind of have that sort of stuff in it for inspiration, and then I go and find like real life images too for reference to make sure I got some fact in there. And then I don't limit my sketches. I do as many sketches as I feel like I need to do, as many iterations as I feel like I need to do before I start painting, um, uh, to make sure that I'm working on the composition and the piece that I want to be working on, if that makes sense. Um, all right, we got like a handful of these here. They're starting to come in, so I'm gonna if you want to answer that question real quick, then I'm going to pan over to the Twitter. What about you? How do you do like a lot of sketches and things and rough drafts, or do you just kind of go for it?
I just I just do it. I should do thumbnails and sketches, but habit building is hard.
Yes, yeah. I think it like sometimes mine, I don't know about you, but mine definitely varies from piece to piece, for sure. Like sometimes I'm like, wow, I did a lot of great thumbnails and sketches, and then other times I'm just like, I literally didn't even do a sketch. I just like started blocking in shapes with a large brush. Sometimes I do that and I just go straight into painting. It really, it depends on how I feel too sometimes. All right, I'm going to pull up Twitter now. I'm just going to bring this up, and we are going to look at the first piece that we've got from the community. This is from John Cena, and his name is John Cena. Do, 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 do. Sorry. That you had to know that that was coming. If you didn't think that that was going to happen when you posted for the show, I'm sorry. And I hope it brightened your day. And if it terrified you, I apologize. But that used to be my sub sound on Twitch, so I can't not do that when I see the name John Cena. But thank you, John. It says, "Hi, here's my portfolio and 2 works I'm working on." So this is cool. We got a link to your portfolio, and this is the piece that John Cena is currently working on while watching the stream. This is pretty cool. Looks like you got like a scene here of 2 characters kind of hanging out indoors while it's raining in the city outside. That's pretty neat. Thanks, man. This is at all but myself on Twitter. If you guys want to give John a follow, thank you very much. The next one we have here is from Ariana. Thank you so much for participating. Ariana says, here's a little sketch inspired by this week's hashtag Adobe Live Design Off with VooDoo Val and Sozomaika. This is awesome. This is really cool. This is like an elf with a braid kind of laying over her shoulder. I think this is a pretty cool sketch that you did, Ariana. I'm proud of you. I think you're doing very well. And Ariana is Arisi, is it Arisi Creates, at Arisi Creates on Twitter. So check out Ariana. Thank you very much for sharing. And then we got this from Acid Fiend, at Fiend Acid on Twitter. Just got the initial sketch. Did like an evil priest character for us, which I think is cool. Those are some shifty eyes, man. This is cool. This is a cool sketch. Thank you very much, Acid Fiend, for sharing with us. This is cool. Everybody give Acid Fiend a follow on the Twitter. And then we also got one here from Sukosma. Sukosma says, my sexy vampire slayer, work in progress, haven't drawn in the hands yet. This is awesome. This is very cool. At Sukosma on Twitter is Sukosma's handle. Definitely give him a follow. This looks super cool. I'm gonna pull my screen down and go back to yours real quick while I refresh, just to make sure that everything kind of follows the guidelines of the show, just in case someone else posted. And we do have another handful of them. Let me pull it back up. So we got this one here from Just Simi, at Simi Mona on Twitter. It says, "Oh, it's a portrait from the Queen's Gambit. That's awesome. That's super cool. I have yet to watch this show, but this is awesome. Thank you so much, Simi." She says, "Here's a work I think about perfecting more." Awesome. Well done. This is cool. Thanks for sharing. And then we got let's see, Dark Horse. I keep wanting to call you Dark Horse because I'm a nerd. But Dark Hours Co. Coloring in this piece, the one of Ruin while catching VooDoo Val and Sozomaika, streams some fantasy characters. 10 out of 10 morning. Let's see how it pans out. I love it. This is like a cool, like kind of tarot lineup here of these 2 characters, and I think it looks really neat. I like the composition here with like the little arch and how they're kind of both like in profile staring away from each other. It looks cool. If you guys want to give Dark Hours a follow, it's just Dark Hours Co. On Twitter. And then we also have another one. Ooh, it looks like Sukosma also posted a study of Ahsoka Tano from The Mandalorian. You, sir, are trying to get extra points by sharing Star Wars art with me, and I like it. 10 points to Slytherin for you, Sukosma, and thank you very much for doing some more art for us. Again, follow Sukosma at Sukosma on Twitter. And then let me peek and see if we have any more. We are coming to the end of our stream for today. Yep, that's it. All right. Well, I am going to come back to our dual stream page here, because maybe we can kind of like zoom out and show our pieces while we let everybody know like where the best place is to follow us. Where's the best place to kind of check out your work? Sozo, real quick, we have maybe a minute or so to do like a quick little outro.
Probably my Instagram or Twitter are where you can find my work laid out. And then my website, Sozomaika. Literally any social media, you can just find me as Sozomaika. Like, I'm pretty easy to find.
Awesome.
I think.
You can find me at voodoo.val on Instagram, and then VooDoo_Val on Twitter. Best place to talk to me is Twitter. Best place just to see a bunch of my work and stuff is on Instagram. And the best place to see like case studies of my projects and things like that is here on Behance. So definitely give me a follow. Holler at you girls after the stream. Keep track of our art, see what we're posting. I would appreciate it. I'm sure Sozo would as well. It has been an absolute pleasure, Sozo. Thank you so much again for hanging out with me. Um,
Thanks for having me.
it was a blast. It was a blast. Thank you, chat, for hanging out with us today. You guys are all wonderful. Thank you for being here and sharing about your lives and your art and everything too. And we will catch you another time. All right, folks. Adios, everybody.